Hey guys, check it out. I'm going to open up a box today. I've only done one or two of these before. I'm not real skilled at the unboxing thing, but I'm going to give it a shot. And what I have, I'll tell you where it came from. And this thing came from Tube Depot in Tennessee. And so you can kind of guess this has something to do with my electronics hobby. And I have wanted one of these for a long time. Let me just get it, open up the box and show you what I have here. So, peel back on all this paper tape. Alright, almost there. Okay, before I start, let me tell you, I feel like I missed out. I missed out on the last little bit of the ELEKIT generation. In other words, as a hobbyist, if I had been born 10 years earlier, I probably would have built several ELEKITs. Maybe a television, maybe a radio, maybe a piece of test gear. But I missed out on all of that because by the time I got interested in the hobby, ELEKIT was already pretty well defunct, or at least not making kits for guys like me. Very cool, very cool. Let me see what we got in here. Looks to be packed pretty decently. Okay, it must be for returns, I'm not sure. Let's see what's in here. Let me see here. I'm not sure what this totally catches me. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, cool. We'll talk about that in just a minute. All right. Let me get the big box out first. Let me set this little one aside. I'll show you what that is in just a minute. Lots of nice packing. So, all right. So, let me get this box out. So immediately you notice, okay, you see some Japanese written on here. Well, I'll tell you it's Japanese. It's not, I don't read languages like this, but I know it's Japanese. What we have here is a TU, it's made by ELEKIT, or ELEKIT, I'm not sure how you say it, ELEKIT. It is the TU-8200. It is a small single-ended amplifier kit that uses 6L6 GCs. There have been people, 12 volt vids did a really nice assembly video series on this amp, and he did one on another ELEKIT amp as well that inspired me to go get this. So kudos to 12 volt vids, because he really did a phenomenal job on this thing. He's from Canada. You can hear it in his accent. He's from British Columbia in Canada and does a lot of electronics videos. But the video he did on this set was just terrific and really got me interested. So let me open this up and see what we have inside here. His was really well packed, and so I expect mine won't be any different. If you buy Japanese products ever, you know how OCD the Japanese are about things being just right. Okay, so you're seeing this as I see it. Nice box. Smaller box than I imagined. I like the old-fashioned look to it. Okay, great. So what I have here that I pulled out first was just my invoice, so no big deal. Okay, here are the instructions. And check this out, guys. I don't know if you can see this, but these instructions are all written in Japanese. This kit is originally intended for the Japanese market, so everything in here is in Japanese. I don't read Japanese, and nor did I don't know the fella's name who runs the YouTube channel 12 Volt Vids, but I know he's from Canada. He doesn't do Japanese either. He said so. But thankfully, this kit, that's what was in this FedEx envelope, is sent to me with English translation instructions. So it just, you'll see that the instructions are really similar, not quite the same, but they look really similar. The serial number is only on the Japanese instructions. So these instructions are all in English, which is really pretty cool. They're individual pages. I'm glad I caught that. I'll put them in a binder, I suppose. But they're all in English. I hope, and from what he was saying in the assembly vid, the translations are better than your average Chinese to English Harbor Freight translation. So, excellent, excellent. English instructions. That will be cool. Okay, in this package, you see here are the boards. I think there are 7 so-called units, 7 boards with this thing. Now, I have to confess that I am inexperienced at soldering to PC boards. So I'm going to practice on some prototype boards that I have just to get the feel of it. And I even bought a new soldering iron to help me with that. Let's see if you can see that. There it is over there. That is the digital version of the soldering iron I have always used, and that's the WESD51, the digital soldering iron. That way I can have better control over the temperature on my soldering work. So I bought that on purpose for this kit. I also bought, and you can't see it, I'll do a separate video on that, but I bought a rework station. It is just a Chinese-made rework station, but it seems like it's going to do a decent job. So anyway, back to this ELEKIT 8200, TU-8200. These are the boards, very well laid out. English on the boards, so that's good. So I think this is going to be pretty cool. I have a lot to learn here. There's a sheet of stickers. Don't know if I'm going to use those or not. I want to treat these boards really well, so I'm going to set those aside over here. Alright, so from what he was saying when he did his assembly vid, that the people at ELEKIT were just as OCD as they come about making sure that all the parts were in here, were marked well, were, you know, in bags together. So I really think this is going to work out okay. I am not going to bore you as I go through every individual little piece here and make sure every little piece is here. I think that I can do that on my own, and I think that there's a problem that Tube Depot will do a good job of handling that for me. But here are some of the ICs that are going to be part of here. It looks like some voltage regulators, some ICs. Tube sockets are in here. There are the 2 big output tube sockets, and I saw a couple others in here for the other tubes. Here's the nice aluminum knob. So all these pieces are in here. So I'll check that out in just a little bit. The feet for the amp cabinet. Here's some more of the header connectors and the power connector. And if I remember right, in this there was a rectifier in here and some other things. So all these are parts I'll have to go through and make sure they're all there. Power cord, really cool. Let's see what's in these guys here. I suspect these are the tubes. Yep, 6L6GC. So these are those tubes. Let's see what we got here. So I bought the DX version of this kit, and what that means is it's supposed to have improved capacitors in it, which is really cool. Here we go. Electro-harmonics, 6L6GC tubes. Look at that. Russia. Cool. I'm not the only one who ever noticed that, but I like that. It's really neat to see. These are beautiful tubes. Look at that. That's just lovely. Very nice, very nice. Made in Russia. Okay. I still think American tubes are better, and I'll probably try to find an American set, a GE or an RCA set, but great. I will set these aside as well so they don't get damaged. And I imagine that these are the preamp tubes. Here we go. And these are Chinese. Shu Guang. Very nice. Try to get this out of here. Alright, there we go. Pretty, very pretty. 12AU7. I got a pair of those. So, very nice. Okay, I think those will be great. I'm going to set those aside too. Boy, they sure do a nice job of packing this. Here's all the hardware. Standoffs, speaker connections, all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to have to go through all this. Really nice stuff. From what I understand, it's all stainless, so it's not magnetic. It'll drive me nuts, but alright. I suspect from the weight of this thing, this is a transformer. And this will be a main power transformer. I've seen this in the video, so I'm just pulling it out to make sure it's not been damaged or anything. Is that our core transformer that they, I guess it's a proprietary design, so very nice. It's meaty. Not as heavy as, you know, old TV transformers, but meaty, and it should do just a real nice job of this. Okay, so we got that. There's our main power transformer. These would be the output transformers, yep. Let's look at one of these. Take a look, see what it looks like. That's actually beefier than I thought for the output transformer. And what I really like about this particular one, the other kit, the 8100, apparently isn't like this, but this one has connectors for the wiring connections for these transformers. So I got a pair of output transformers. Excellent. So all the goodies are here. All the goodies are here. Now, I imagine people will have mixed feelings about the way this cabinet looks, but I kind of dig the industrial look of it. This is the cabinet. Wow, they do a nice job. Nice and tidy, man. Real nice job of packing this. And I'm opening it like a kid opens a Christmas present. You know, I was concerned that this wouldn't look good and that I might want to paint it. But the truth is, this is close to the color I would have painted it anyway. I really like this. Yeah, this is going to work. So this thing is kind of screwed together so it stays together. Real nice finish. Real nice sort of semi-gloss finish. Of course, you have holes for the 4 tubes, the output tubes and preamp tubes. And here's for the volume. I'm sure that's a power switch or an LED. I'm not sure. These are probably switches here. That's probably an indicator. And the back panel, there are stickers that go on the back panel to tell you what goes there. So that's very nice. That's going to be great. That's going to be great. Well, I'm pretty excited about this guy. And it's probably going to be a little while before I can get to assembling it. So this is just a first look, because I wanted to do an unboxing video. I spent a lot of money on this thing, and I wanted to make sure that I document that everything's okay. And so far so good. So there's that. Let me put this transformers back in. Put the feet back in there. Put the power cord back in there, because I know what those things are. And then I'm going to go through some of this hardware, but but before I do that, let me show you what else I got. So this, remember, there was another box. Let me pop this one open, and I'll show you. Oh, lots of ghost turds, lots of ghost turds. Oh. Okay. Okay, great. This is the ELEKIT Pro Kit DAC that's made for this unit. So this DAC goes for about 50 bucks US, and it's basically a board that will enable me, you mount it inside the amplifier, will enable me to play music directly, or whatever, programming directly from my computer into the amplifier and then out to the speakers using the tube amplification. So this will be awesome. Geez, I hope the instructions are in English on this guy. I kind of suspect they might not be. But I'll see if I can't find them on the internet. Oh man, I don't speak Japanese, and I'm not really in the mood to be interpreting everything from Google, but I'll do what I have to do. Okay, so there is that. What do we have here? Oh yeah, you know what? This is the little preamp that I bought. This is the model PL stereo preamplifier. It's a single tube preamp. It's board based. It's a kit. And I forgot about this. There's the tube. So it should, it's a phono preamp. It's a GE tube. Very cool. Made in 1985. So it's a new old stock tube. It's a Joint Army Navy. So this is a military tube. This should be a nice tough tube. That's terrific, man. I forgot about it. And these organic caps are part of the upgrade for the DX version of this TU-8200. So there's the TU-8200 that Tube Depot sells, and they sell the TU-8200DX, and that is for these capacitors, the Sanyo organic capacitors, and then there's also these Amco film capacitors, these blue guys right here. These are real pretty. So these Sanyo Organics are these little cans. These are kind of neat to look at. So, oh, I see, there's a label on the end of it. All right, so excellent. I have everything I need for this kit, for the preamp kit as well. Now, just so you know, I am not going to use this little preamp with this amplifier. This little preamp is something I'm going to experiment with. So my other tube gear, this is something I want to learn from. And so, I'm sure it would work fine with this amp, but it's not what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do for this amp is they sell the TU-8500 preamp kit. And that is on the way for this guy. So I bought that from Tube Depot a few days later. It hasn't arrived yet. And just to let the cat out of the bag, not only did I order the TU-8500 preamp, but I also ordered the TU-8100 two-tube single-ended amplifier. So the 8200 is a 4-tube. It puts out in the triode mode 4 watts per channel, single-ended. In the pentode mode, puts out about 8 watts per channel. Now, from everything I'm hearing, the triode mode is the way to run this guy, but I'll try everything. And I'm going to do what 12-volt vids did, and I'm going to put a switch on this thing so that I can switch modes back and forth. I might even do the 2 switches so I can select, because it'll do triode, pentode, and ultralinear. So I'm going to try and set it up so I can pick any of those. And so that's what I'm doing with this. I have the TU-8500 on the way for this guy. I have a TU-8100 on the way just to play with, and I'll use in my shop here, my little electronics shop, or I may even take it to work when it's all done. With that one, I also have a DAC, the PS, I think it's 3249. I have a DAC for the TU-8100 as well. So I spent a bunch of money at Tube Depot recently. It's exciting. What I'm trying to do, I have focused on old vintage gear. I need to learn to work on PC boards and get good at working on PC boards, because around Salt Lake City there is a lot of work available if I can repair newer equipment. The best way to get used to doing that is to learn the soldering techniques and so forth, and the troubleshooting techniques of working on my own stuff, which is what I've done with other things, and then branch out into that stuff. So this should be exciting. As soon as I finish this old beastly Scott that's sitting over here at the end of the bench, I will get started on this this first one. I might do the 8100 first because it's a simpler amp. 12 volt vids did a video on each of those, the 81 and the 8200, so I'll probably do the 8100 first just so that I can get used to the idea. This guy right here is going to ultimately go as part of my little stereo setup here in my electronics shop. I have set up a little sort of, you know, in an old rack, a little stereo setup with just a basic Techniques turntable, a Tascam CD recorder, and a nice TAC reel-to-reel. That TAC, that A6300, has been restored. It is an awesome machine. It sounds terrific. Besides the TAC and the Tascam, all these other items are going to need to be restored. So I have, that's an ICO ST70 down there. I'm going to use that somewhere else once I get this, this ELEKIT going. That's a nice little Kenwood cassette recorder. I don't know what I'm going to do with a cassette recorder other than it'd be fun to make it work. And then that is an old Channel Master tuner that actually works really well, and it's a nice looking tuner. I think it was made by Pilot, but I'm not sure about that. And then my turntable is nothing special. It is a Techniques SL-D202, your basic direct drive turntable. I have some other stuff. I will, when I get time, I'm going to start working on my turntables. I've got a whole bunch of turntables, and I'll start kind of fixing those up and doing some fun things. I happen to like duals a lot. I know that a lot of them are idler wheel, but I don't care. I still like them. They're fun to use. And I might do something like that. Anyway, that's what I have going on. I have the ELEKIT to get working on. I'm going to mount that right there where the cassette deck is sitting. And I'll put the cassette deck at the bottom when I get the ELEKIT done. I will also have the phono preamp in this rack. And I should be good to go, man. Enjoy some nice tunes. It's a small room, so it should, the 8 watts per channel or 4 watts in triode mode should be plenty. Alright, this reminds me of my old model airplane building days. One of the first things you want to do when you get a new kit is go through the kit and make sure all your parts are there. So let me unbox it again. The reason it's all boxed up in the first place is I took it back to a friend of mine. I took it over to Ray Elko to show Robert. See, he has an interesting kit. But all of the little baggies and stuff are still sealed up tight. So I'm going to see if there's a parts list in the instructions. And then I'll start checking off the parts off the instructions. I don't think I'll need the Japanese instructions for the moment. So let me see here. Here's the parts list. I'm going to go ahead and make a highlight mark off of. I'll make a highlighter mark at every. I'll highlight the name of every one because when I go through the kit and I use the parts, I'm going to want to check off the boxes. So, just so you know what I mean. For example, when I want to use the power transformer is shown here with a picture of it. The name of the power transformer right here, the number of pieces there are of it, with a little box. So when I dig out the power transformer, I'm going to highlight that. So when I'm all done with going through these parts, all of them should be highlighted. And then when I do the kit, it won't interfere with that. I'll check off the boxes as I do the kit. Okay? So let's get started. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very strange. Well, it looks blue to me, guys. Maybe it's gray, but I'm going to say this is 180, and I'll put 160 in parentheses. forgot to count the damn things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's weird. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to worry about it for the moment. I can come up with those if I need to. Alright. Very cool. Very, 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 very cool. All the resistors. Alright, I forgot to count these. 220 microfarads at 16 volts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of them. It says I need 9. Alright. That safety cap must have been the spark killer. There's the 3300s. I saw those. There were 2 of those. The .22s. I saw those. There were 2 of those. So got them. So what we have, guys, I think is all the parts accounted for. I already saw the main power transformer. And I already saw the output transformers, and I've gawked at the tubes. I've seen the chassis, all the parts for the chassis. It's assembled, so I think I'm good. There's the spark killer is done. I don't think there's anything not marked on here, so I think on the parts for this TU-8200DX, I'm good to go. I'm not going to do any work on this thing right now. I just wanted to make sure that I had all the parts just in case there was a problem. I could deal with that right away if there was. Looks like there's not, so I'm in good shape. I'll go ahead and put this all back in the box so that I don't lose anything. And that will be the end of part 1 of this little series I'm going to do on the build for the ELEKIT or ELEKIT TU-8200DX that I bought at Home Depot and received just this week. I did buy the DX, or these upgraded caps. I'll take care of those. So I'm going to go ahead and close out this video now, and it'll be a while before you see part 2, but I want to get a start on this. Alright guys, that's Michael from Salt Lake City. Have a good one. That's all for now.